2024, they're going to bring the rate 200 points down. So the goal is that they're not going to raise it anymore. They're going to bring it down 200 points. So the reason I want to tell you guys that and why that's super important and to understand is that the trends, if you were in the business in 08, and Tina can probably remember this very well, in 08, it was a three-year cycle, like a real hard 3 years. And it's almost exactly what this is going to look like, right? So if you're having conversations with your people, we're probably getting a little bit more to the stable point for the next 18 months or so, right? So you shouldn't see a huge skyrocket unless something catastrophe happens. So what that is saying is you probably are going to see somewhere in the next 24 months, rates coming down to a point, 18, 24 months, rates will come down to a point that refinancing will actually happen again. And you can actually have a conversation with what the Fed said instead of coming out of our own mouth, right? So if I had a conversation with a seller last night, I said, if you are a buyer or whatever, right? If you're looking at buying now, know that in the next 2 to 3 years, it will come back down. So you're only probably going to be there for, let's say, 24 months at this rate. And what that is saying is if it comes down by 2% on the national, it's probably going to be somewhere around 2.5% on the interest rate, right? So it should be 4%, right? Let's say 4%. And if anybody wants to say that a little bit differently, please chime in. But that is a very crucial thing to understanding from a professional standpoint as we go through the next 18 months. It's critical that we're having conversations with people to understand that 3-year cycles happen. We're at about 12 to 14 months of this cycle. And that's why we'll probably see June of 24 to the next year, we'll see a lot more.
Jason Abrams just wrote, I mean, we're on a call yesterday. Jason Abrams just wrote a mortgage hacks class. And it's just, we'll get that information out to you. It's going to be like just a webinar type of deal. It's just how to use the changing of the interest rates over the past 6 to 8 months and how to use that in marketing it and just telling that story versus into the world, the rates are higher. That Twitter team tends to tell that story.
But you also have to be kind of careful with that because, like this morning, I was just talking to Windsor, and they were saying that probably between 5 and 7 is going to be the new norm. And then if that's true, then refinancing may not be something that people want to pay for. So, or they will call you in a couple of years and say, hey. I mean, you have to make the conversation.
Don't forget, if they have enough equity or they're on VA, you can sometimes bypass those fees to refinance, or at least you roll it into the cost of the mortgage that's not that much big.
Lenders are going to be giving away the house when it comes time to refinance. You're never going to pay a dime for refinance.
All right, so now
Can't promise that.
on to Tina.
Can I say one thing real quick? I got this from Scott Brady, and he's from Lawrence at the Central Bank of the Midwest. They just expanded their 100% buyer pool to include college and university professors. So right now, they will provide 100% financing for college university professors with no PMI. They also extend it to veterinarians, PhDs, lawyers, CPAs, and professional engineers. So they qualify for 100% financing with 0 PMI. So you might want to talk to him if you have a buyer in that pool.
All right, so now on to, so Tina, what, 22 years in real estate, and then probably 15 of them we've been knowing each other at least. And so the last 6 years, she's been just taking everything that she's done and systematizing it and then putting it into what she's going to talk about, all right? So when I heard it 2 weeks ago, I got all excited. And then she presented it to some people last night, and I think everyone that was here got all excited too. So I'm setting the stage pretty high. If you leave here not excited, then I guess you just go back, re-listen to it, you'll get excited at some point, okay? Tina, take it away.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, so can
Yes.
See.
You need that?
oh, sweet.
Yes, there we
All
go.
right, yes, I'm Tina. Thank you, Dave. Yep, I've been a realtor for 22 years. And I am very passionate about agent training. And in those 22 years, I did a lot of agent training, and I was always very frustrated with how we trained agents. And for those of you that were here last night, don't worry, this is gonna be much shorter. So I always hated how we trained agents, because we said, you know, real estate's action, get out in the world, do things, right? And then we sit in a classroom. That's not really the best way to learn or to train for real estate. So what I did was created a self-guided on-demand program that is an action-based program that guides an agent through. I originally did it for new agents, but what we found when we beta tested it is we had agents from 1 year to 7 years take it. And it actually beta tested the highest with the agents who had their real estate license for more than a year. And I think that's just because when you've done it for a year, you know what you don't know at that point, and you know what you're missing. And new agents just don't know. So, how many agents are in here that have been in business less than 6 years? Okay, all right. Y'all are gonna be very excited. And I just want to say your culture in this office is so amazing, and I love it so much. I can already feel it.
Yeah, I was about to say.
You know, I'm thinking, due to the weather, I'm thinking more like south. No offense, but yeah, it was 58 when I left my house, and now it's, so, yeah, no, Kansas weather is not for me. So, basically, what I have done is I've created this with myself and Kim Ferris, and so, again, I've been doing this over 20 years. I started out as a transaction coordinator. I actually developed the first transaction coordination department in Kansas City in 2001. I had to go to California to learn how to do it because nobody was doing it here. And then I became and then I was like, okay, got this. Then I became a buyer's agent, then an individual agent, then I had a small team, and then I had a really big team, and now I have a very small team again. And also in there somewhere, I was productivity coach for Dave's office and Shawnee. So yeah, so we've done all the things. When we had the big team, we were MREA teams, which means we were grossing more than $1 million in gross commission income every year. So I've done it all. So I know what I'm talking about. And then Kim Ferris is part of this. So Kim does the contract to closing section of this, which you'll see. And she is the director of ops for us. And she's taken over 1,300 transactions from contract to close, and we're really focused on getting referral business. So our team's very referral based, which if you all aren't referral based, that's where you want to be. That's the GM. You don't have to work with crazy people. And you get referrals, and you don't really compete very much, and it's really great. Oh yeah, and by the way, that program that you shared, my first calls this afternoon would be every person on that list who was in that employment range. That's lead generation right there. And if they weren't on my list in my database and they weren't those employees, I'd probably be looking at Washburn University and just making calls today. Yeah. So I'm very much into lead generation. Unfortunately, because I like to ramble, I did a video.
Hi, my name is Sophia Bernard, and I'm here to welcome you to the Agent Kickstart program. I'm so excited that you decided to invest in yourself. This program is a self-guided, action-based program that's intended to get you to the closing table quickly. So this program is set up in modules, but you'll have a short lesson every day. The lesson is just so you understand why you're doing the activities. This is an action-based program. So once you watch the lesson, get into action. You're going to need to start learning how to time block your day and how to stay self-motivated from the very beginning. And those are two extremely important things that you have to master if you're going to be successful in real estate. Look, you just launched a new company. Take the time to set your foundation. Can you imagine if you're launching a new company and then just going out and doing whatever? No, this is a skill-based market. You have to set your foundation. You have to master your listing consultation, your buyer consultation, your big why, your networking, your open house systems, your contract to close systems. It's all here. This is an all-inclusive. So I've had 20 years, over 20 years of real estate experience. I have been a transaction coordinator. I've been a buyer's agent. I've been an individual agent, I've run a small team, I've run a big team, I've even been a productivity coach. I know what I'm talking about. And what I'm providing you is the entire infrastructure for our team and for our agents. And we have had such success with this. Dig in. So do the activities every day. Second thing, you're gonna have a this program. Do not skip that step. Look, as human beings, we are not great at holding ourselves accountable. So you're gonna need someone to help hold you accountable. And you want that. You need that accountability in order to be a successful realtor. So follow the process. Everything in this program is intended to train you, even down to scheduling the times with your mentor to set those appointments. You need to time block 2 to 4 hours a day, because that's what this action-based program will take. And if you don't have any business, go to the next module, rock it out. We had agents rock this out in less than 2 weeks. Can you imagine being fully trained in less than 2 weeks and having all your foundation set? That's pretty cool. I want you to be successful. I want you to make all the money you possibly can so that all your dreams can come true, that your big why can be fulfilled, whether you want to give it away or create a legacy for your family, or just get out of a bad situation. In order to do that, you have to have the skills. So I'm very excited for you. Just remember, rock through the program. And lastly, if you do, not if, when you get an appointment for a buyer or a seller, just jump to that module. Get yourself prepared. Just set the appointment out, give yourself time, jump to that module, take it, get the business. Get the business, and then come back to wherever you left off and finish everything. I'm so excited. I wish that I had something like this when I started my real estate career. I can't even imagine how much more quickly I could have become uber successful. And I'm so excited for you to become uber successful. So get out there, put the work in, and slay the day. It's all yours.
Okay, so just a little overview, so I don't ramble on, so I wanted to make a pile. So this program is self-guided, it is online, and it does have over 60 downloadable items in it, meaning if you don't have a good listing consultation, guess what? You can download the PowerPoint, there's 42 slides in there, you can customize it and make it your own. It has your questions, it has everything that you need. So what we found when I said that it was beta tested really well with agents that were 1 year to 6 years, it's because you're filling in the gaps, right? And you can go through the program much more quickly because you'll have a lot of these things already. However, I actually took myself through the program and filled out, I added 75 more people to my database just by using the database program. So it does, it's also a great back to basics, for lack of a better term. So if you're wanting to launch a career right now, if you're not working and lead generating right now, I can already tell you what your first quarter is. Not you. So, and you've got to get into action. I think I'm going to share this, but I'm not sharing this to scare you. In Keller Williams, there is 123,000 agents who haven't had a commission check since October. It's either 123,000 or 126,000. I'm just going with the lower number because I can't remember which one. That's huge. That's a majority of the Keller Williams agents. So we're pretty well trained, right? What that tells me though is people are not, we've been enjoying a very strong market that maybe you didn't have to work so hard at. That's not the reality anymore. So it's time to dig in, and when things change, when markets shift, when they come to skill-based markets, you have to have your foundational tools there. You have to be able to go, if you're going in and competing for a listing consultation, you have to present yourself as a professional. You have to have everything together. So this thing, I'm not going to run through everything because everything is in here. So like database, we tell you exactly how to build your database. We give you ideas on how to grow it. We teach you how to classify it. If you're not classifying your database, you're working too hard. You need to work smarter, not harder. And when I classify, I mean A pluses, A's, B's, C's. We've all heard it. It works. It really does. So, and then how to touch them. We have an editable touch plan, touch ideas, pop by ideas, and then we also have a goal setting. If you haven't done that, a really simple one that I love. Buyers has everything: editable flow chart, buyer lead sheet, buyer consultation, slides, questionnaires, the brochure. There's role play videos in here. How to select and show homes. Literally, we have everything. Lead generation is all things lead generation. So all ideas, and then encourage. So what you may have to do if you've been in the market the last 3 years, you may have to start doing things you've never done before, like calling expireds and calling for sale by owners. And going through the Washburn faculty and just starting to call them with a great way to get financed. So you may have to start doing things that you haven't done in the past. And the way to succeed in this market, and yes, well, unfortunately, I did sell real estate in the recession, and we're in nothing like that. But I made it through the recession by grinding and getting back to basics, door knocking, making my 20 calls a day, making sure I added 5 people to my database a day. So when you have a shifting market, you have to go back to that lead generation style, and when you have a shifting market, you have to be skill-based. So when you meet with the clients, because there's fewer of them, right? So before, maybe you're not getting as many consultations, so your conversion rate becomes very, very important. So when you meet with them, you need to get them, and you need to have the systems and tools to get them to present yourself as a professional who knows what they're doing, because that's what people are looking for. That's what my business is doing right now. Busier than I've ever been. Why would my team be busier than we've ever been when we're in a shifting market? Yep. Clients are scared. They don't know what's going on. The general public doesn't know what's going on. Before, if you had a pulse, they grabbed you to take so you could go show them a house. That's not the case anymore. They don't care that you have a pulse. They want to know that you have the knowledge, the experience, and the ability to take them through a transitioning market. So if you don't have those skills, you're not going to make it in this market. I mean, it can be super brutal and honest, but it's true. If you're not willing to put the work in and do the things, then this is going to be a really tough market for you to make it through. Because the teams that are already established and doing the right things, or the people that are established do the right things, guess what they do? They take your market share. And that's what we're doing right now, is we're taking market share from other agents. Great. So lead generation, very, very important. We even have like text messaging templates. In lead generation, we have, how to find your why, how to create, we even have like what social media you need to be set up on, because sometimes we forget about that. We forget to make sure we have a presence on social media. Sellers, same thing. Everything's there for you. Everything. So, and we do role plays also in listing and the seller module. There's also been Kenny's listing presentation. He was kind enough to let me use it. So his listing consultations in there also. And then I do one too. Ben's a little kind of hard hitting. I'm a little softer. So there's kind of two sides of the coin. His would be something for a cold appointment. Mine's more for a warm one. And it has our things, how we have our marketing brochures, our top 10 lists, our utility sheets. There's an objection handler video in here where we role played out objection handlers, and we have 2 different types of agents role playing, so you get 2 different versions. Marketing piece examples, literally how to present offers, it's all in here. And lastly, contract to close system. And this is from Kim, the one that's done over 1,300. And so this has everything in it. This has her contract to close checklist. It has her emails. It has our video templates, email templates, videos. It has the scripts on what she says when she calls, like lenders, title companies, other agents, appraisers, that kind of thing. It's all in here. So even if you have a system, you may want to go through this and check it out and see if there's anything you want to add. If you're not using videos in your contract to close system, it's life-changing. It is absolutely life-changing. And then we have, maybe, these are kind of best practices, what we've learned. Oh, like too many. So one thing, last night I was talking, and we were like, this has kind of been like a blooming onion. Like I thought it was one thing, and it's just become something completely different than I thought it was going to be originally. So you know what? I'm a realtor. I roll with it, because that's what you got to do when you're a realtor. So build your downline. So we're going to provide you a briefing that you can share with your friends. Building my downline, I shared the story last night, was never a big thing to me. It was never a focus until I had an agent, a random agent, name me as their person. And then she got a whole another office to come join our office. I care about my downline. My downline went from 5 people to 27 people with one person who I ask them to name me as their sponsor. So, so your downline, you can help, with other agents and other companies that want to build a team. This is a way for them to build a team, way for them to train their admin. And then also it's new agent training that no one else has because it is so different. I'm staying your 20%. So let the program work for you. If you know you have gaps, if you're not super confident in your listing consultation, buyer consultation, use those pieces. Fill in those gaps, set your foundation. And that way you stay in your top 20%, which right now for you is lead generation, right? We got to make your business, they're saying statistically your business will be down 30%, which means you need to up your lead generation 30% if you want to make the same money you made this year. If you want to make more money, a little bit more, right? And then updated content, we update the content ongoing, and then we send out notifications to let you know it's updated. And then also make sure that you join the Facebook page, because that is a network. It's a place where right now it's just kind of providing content and inspirational things. But in the future, as this grows, it's going to be, because I just launched this program, it will be a referral network, because this is nationwide. It's all companies. It's not just Keller Williams. So then you'll be able to have a referral network within the Agent Kickstart community too. So those are all great benefits. And then who is this for? For new agents, for sure. We want to change how they're trained, get them into production quickly. Because as we know, that's the key. I don't know if you remember being a new agent, but I think when they sat me down, they said, you need 6 months to a year of savings. And I was like, I'm so much better than that. Yeah. So without training, and I had no training. I don't know how I didn't get sued my first year in real estate, because I was out there just doing whatever. So, but this is, the intention is to get you under contract, have something under contract in the first 30 days. And if you follow the system, you will. Foundational training for experienced agents and you want to take their business to the next level. If you don't have your foundation strong, your systems and everything running smoothly, you're going to hit a glass ceiling. 100%, because there's only so much you can do. So set that foundation so the sky is the limit. And then lastly, growth. It's really a solution for hiring and training if you need to hire an admin, transaction coordinator, buyer's agent, new agent. And so it allows you to be able to hire people and not spend all your time training them. If that makes sense. So it has all of this. And then the cool thing. All right. Maybe. Okay. This is all provided to you. This is the pricing. These are all the products that you can use and take and all the pricing. But because your leadership of your office believes in you and wants you to be so successful that you come out of here with more market share, it is free. Absolutely free. Everything's free. Unlimited. Yay. So gratitude.
There's a catch.
There's no catch. There's absolutely no catch. It is completely free to you. The content will be updated. You'll see how that updates. So we're working on some cool things. We're working on like interviews with loan officers, like what you should ask, things, different programs, things, title companies. I shared this story last night. I didn't know how to read title until I was like in my 5th year real estate. I was doing like 10 million and I had no clue how to read a title. And by that point, I was too embarrassed to ask. So some of you may be in that position in this room. Don't worry. So interview with the title, going through title commitment, going through an Alta, explaining everything and what it is and what it means, things like that. Interviews with successful agents, but interviews, because we always talk about successful agents where they're at. And these are going to be interviews about how they got there. Like, what did you do your first couple of years when you launched your business? How did you launch a successful business? So always check back, because those will always be updated and ready to go. But yeah, so I forgot I did a big reveal. Dang it. Well, I woke up at 5 a.m. so I did this morning, which is why I'm saying off at the beginning. Because it literally had cost you free. Okay. That's not as fun. Next time to the drum roll. Make everybody go, oh no, it costs. So that's the entire program. You have access to it right now. So, we will get
That to me.
I mean, yeah, I already told Kim, I'm like, I need to get Julie's information. So we will get, we'll get it, and I know we've been working with Tammy, so we're gonna work out, we'll get access to you, you'll have an email, but you can literally log into it right now. So if you go to agentkickstart.com and sign up now, you put your email in, and then you put the coupon code, which is just your office code, KW1052. And that $4.99 will become $0. The other thing you need to know is at the first of the year, this program will be $8.99. The feedback that I've gotten is that it's too cheap for everything that's included.
So for you, it's still free.
For you, it's still free, because your grandfather did and you know Dave. Congratulations.
I think probably one of the most inspiring things about this is you're local. So you're talking numbers based on our numbers. I think for a lot of people.
Actually, I don't talk about local numbers, so just so I don't so you'll overpromise. So this is very foundational training. It's just the basics of real estate. You'll work with your mentor on local numbers and how to pull those things. So it is not local at all.
Okay.
I just
Well,
don't want to
that's good.
overpromise. And
Well, no, and that's
Yeah.
good, because I think some of the feedback that agents walk away with at events
Mhm.
as, the stage has got these $40-50 million producers that they're selling $1 and $3 million properties.
Yes.
And so it's sometimes hard when I'm teaching contract training and stuff like that. They're looking at these numbers up here and they're like, how did they get there? And the reality is here, you're probably not.
Right.
So there needs to be a way to compare apples to apples and oranges, if that
Yeah.
makes any sense.
And the great news for us is foundational training is universal
It's
across the
universal,
board.
right.
So how you do business foundationally, how you set your business up is universal, what, I don't know what company you're at, so. And yeah, so that's why you work with a mentor, and that's why you'll still have to teach those classes.
I love my class, and they love it.
Plus, it would be impossible to just keep up with the local changes for the national. Well, my coach wants me to sell it in South America too. Oh, did it quit? So there's also an app. So the app has everything in it. So you can download, it's called Kajabi. That's what it looks like. You'll get an email that reminds you to download the app. So, and then you have literally everything on the app. The reason this has been important, so you can do it from anywhere. I've had agents saying, hey, I watched the class at an inspection and then went back and did the actions. Or I was walking into a listing consultation, I was feeling really unsure, so I watched the consultation role play, or I watched the objection handler role play before I walked in. So that's all available and it's on your phone. So you can literally get there half an hour early and not arriving early to your appointments. That's a whole other thing. But anyway, I digress.
You said you beta tested it with agents below 5, and that's where it worked the best. What kind of growth did you see? I mean, was there any?
This is not an accountability program.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not accountability, it's just strictly foundational. Your accountability is gonna be with your mentor, or your accountability partner, if you're an experienced agent. So yeah, so the best feedback I got was for agents that have been in the business 5 to 7 years.
Okay.
And that's, I think, because they're ready to take the next step, right? And they're like, okay, I've got to have a listing consultation put together. I've got to have a system. And that's what this is a system, right? Each step how to do it.
Mentors, where are they coming from? Who are they?
Depends on the situation. So when you sign up, you're gonna have a welcome video. It's actually some of that. And then you're gonna get an email with the mentor outline that you are to identify your mentor and share that with them. So if you're on a team, your mentor would be your rainmaker. If you're productivity coaching, your mentor would be productivity coach. If you're experienced agent, a lot of them did it together. They did accountability partners, and that way they could practice, because I say it a million times in this program. There's 2 things that you'll hear a million times. Database is the only thing you own. It's the most important thing. You got to work it and let it. The second thing is do not practice on your money. Practice on other agents. I don't care how shy or nervous you are. Don't practice on your money. Don't show up for the first time in your listing consultation in front of a client. So a lot of them are working together to role play and practice those things and customize them. So, and there's different samples in that mentor agreement. It's very inclusive. There's examples of how you can outline that arrangement together. So
what I love about this is when Dave listened to it, he was like a little school, like, ran him out to, hey, tell you something. And I was like, yeah, I'm like, well, I told Tina about to tell you, he was so excited, and we talked about it, you guys are not recreating the wheel, it's just there for you, especially for new agents, like events and summer, like all that is just there for you. You don't have to recreate any of that. It's all you can edit, drop your name and everything in it. I think it's awesome.
You can make it, customize it however you need to customize
Right,
it too.
yeah, the editable part.
Yeah.
You can put your logo, et cetera.
And she's right. I mean, agents that have been agents, over however many years, there was not training.
Well, I've mastermind with a lot of big teams, and the most shocking thing that I realize is there's a lot of big teams that do $40, $50 million that don't have a buyer consultation, listing consultation for their teams. They're winging it. It's true story. So it's all here. So this is our system based on the foundational of when we're doing 45 million. So this is this system down to the foundational level. So you should easily do 45
Yeah.
So if you'd like, I can show you real quick what the program looks like. So once you get in, this is how you log in. You just sign up now, or of course log in after you logged in. And then once you get in, and this is what the program looks like. So you'll see everything's broken down in modules. There's some extra things. There's a success tracker, but again, it's not accountability. It's just kind of a reminder of what you're supposed to do on a daily basis. Because one thing that's very important is that by the end of these 25 modules, that what I want is for you to walk away with, okay, this is what my day should look like every day. I need to make my calls. I need to write my handwritten notes. I need to do social media engagement. I need to go out in the world and meet people. Crazy, huh? Add people to your database. If you don't have enough business in your database, the only way to change that is to grow your database. If you don't like the people in your database, the only way to change that is to grow your database and get new people. So, and that's your job. So our job description is changing. Along with the shifting market, our job description is changing. And this gets you back to the foundational stuff that you need to do every day. So all of them have, so this one has new content, as you see. So when we do new content, we'll put it on the heading. So you'll see the videos. This one's a little bit longer because it's talking about all things buyer consultation. But then it's 22 minutes. Outside of the role plays, that's probably the longest video. I try to keep them all between 10 and 15 minutes because y'all are realtors, you have real short attention spans. And plus, it's not about listening to me talk. The only reason that I'm talking is I'm defining things and explaining things so you know why you're getting the action and why you're doing the things you're going to do later. And then below, there's homework every day. So there's homework every day, like customized intake form, customized consultation. Guess what, though? It's all here for you. So it's all in downloads. So it's all provided for you, and that's every single module is like that. It just runs. That's the outline for it. Is short class, homework, and then what you need to do the homework. So it's not like if I give you homework, if I say complete the buyer intake form, you ask what's a buyer intake form? It's there. It's all there for you. Okay, I did much better. That's so much
It's
shorter.
already in Word format.
Hit on.
Huh?
Or is it all online?
It's all online. Yeah, it's all, well, it's in hard format in our drive and.
There's no principle, there's no book.
There's no books we got, but there is for every module, so there's 5 modules in the full program. So for every module, you do have a workbook. So, and that's in,
For old people, we still carry paper.
well, yeah,
And highlight
well,
and
and
draw.
I couldn't get this to open last night, but maybe, hopefully.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. So for every module, there is a workbook, and that's because we want to hit all personality types, and I know there's some note takers in here too. And in the workbooks, there's some Easter eggs in there, make sure you're watching things. But so it just takes you through each thing. And the workbooks are for each module. So there's 5 in each module, there's 5 lessons. So this will cover all 5 lessons.
Hit on that part that you and Ken tracked everything for a couple of years.
Oh, yeah, the contract to close system for 2 years, Kim and I tracked every incoming call we got from clients, and if we got called more than twice in those 2 years, we created a system around it. Now, when I know Dave can vouch for me, when I say I'm systematized, I am systematized. Everything has a process, and you have it all. And so what we did with that is anytime we got a call, then we're like, okay, we need to create a system around that. So the videos that you're gonna see, the videos that you're gonna see in the program, in the contract to close program, came from those incoming calls. So the videos are about what to expect in inspections. Up next is your appraisal. Here's what you need to expect and setting expectations. And what I found was my calls went down by over 75%. Because we set the expectation, right? So if a buyer, this is the example I think I used, the buyers, congratulations, you're under contract, your next step is going to be inspections. So at the inspections, we want to make sure you're there for the end, if it's possible. You don't have to be there for the whole thing, but you can be there for the end. And if you can't be there for the end, no problem. We'll make sure to connect you. We work through that. But when you have that inspection as a buyer, the inspector's job is to check everything and find every issue at that house. So when you're done with the inspection, you are going to want to light a match and burn it down. That's normal. It's normal to feel like that. So, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, we're not going to burn it down. What we're going to do is work through it. And once you do the inspection, we'll get the report back within 48 hours. Once I get the report back, I'm going to reach out to you and we're going to have a conversation about the things on the inspection report and see how we want to move forward. Do you see how that reduces calls? Do you see how we're setting the expectation? Because you have to manage emotions. Real estate's a roller coaster. And one way to keep deals together is to manage emotions. So if you can manage the emotions, you're going to have more deals that don't fall apart. So if you just tell them you're going to feel like burning the house down, because that's what all buyers feel like at the inspections, right? And sometimes they're not even anything bad. We have a couple of bad things and we're like, oh my God, this thing's falling down. Or when dad comes over. My favorite thing to do to dads, and you got to have the personality to pull this off, is like, oh my gosh, I did not realize that you were a home inspector. Your kids did not tell me that. That's so cool. And then there was like, oh, I'm not. And I'm like, oh, well, maybe we should listen to that next time. But you have to have the personality to pull it off. I say a lot of backhanded things and smile. Like my thing. So you have it all. You have our whole system. And it's a little bit uncomfortable for me because I'm putting it all out there. So my competitors all have it now. But the good thing is I'm referral based, so I don't repeat.
Right.
So, do you guys have any questions?
Thank you.
Well, thanks, Dave.
Yeah.
You invested.
Thank you.
You invested in it. And you're welcome. Oh, the last thing I want to do is that the videos are, nothing's perfect in here. The courses, the lessons are all professionally recorded. But the one thing I talked to my videographer about is unless I cussed or said something really out of line, which happens a lot with me, I wanted it recorded all the way through. And the reason I wanted to do that is because I wanted to see that nobody's perfect, that people make mistakes. That gold play script for the video wasn't great that I just did here. In the video, it's a little bit better when we send that. But the reason I wanted to do that, and I shared the story last night, early on in my career, went to Bold. I don't know what Bold is. And there was a gentleman up there, he's going to remain nameless, and he was taking 100 listings a year, and they had him making calls. They had a video making calls. Well, he wasn't very good. He stumbled around, he was awkward, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so much better on the phone than that. And so my takeaway was, if you can take 100 listings a year, I can easily take 100 listings a year. So that's always stuck with me in my career. So this is not perfect, and it's intended to not be perfect. I didn't want it to be perfect. I wanted it to be authentic. I wanted it to be real. I mean, I wanted people to know that no one's perfect. And the role plays are the same way. We go straight through on the role plays. I mess up sometimes. Who cares? Because you mess up sometimes in consultations. Or if you're have ADD like me, you sometimes forget what you're doing. And so we talk about that. There's no problem with saying, you know what, let me regroup a little bit. I kind of lost track of where I am. Or if you get really panicked, always ask where the bathroom is. That's always my go-to. I'm so sorry, may I use the restroom? And I go in there and go, what the hell did you just say? You're like, some deep breaths, flush the toilet, wash your hands, pretend, and then come back out and regroup. So I try to provide tips and tricks too. So anyway,
good?